right, JC, thanks for taking the time to meet with me today.
Sure.
So tell me a little bit about you and what you do and where you're at.
Sure. So I'm the brewmaster of Alvarado Street Brewery.
Okay.
Opened the company with my father in 2014.
Oh, wow.
I'll just look at you over there.
Either or.
Moved from Southern California. My folks had relocated on the Monterey Peninsula for about close to 15 years now.
Oh, wow.
They moved when I was in college, and so then I circled back here 2014 with my wife, planted some roots,
Okay.
had 3 kids, opened up a brewery.
Nice.
We opened the Salinas production facility in 2016, just a couple years later.
Okay.
And then, the Salinas production facility really grew, and we started really getting our beer out really across the state and across Northern California. So kind of growing our brand and our brand awareness, and we're lucky to pick up some accolades along the way. And we opened East of Eden in the Carmel Plaza in December 2018.
Okay.
And here we are now, like living in a new world,
Wow.
trying to get by.
Yeah. So in the last couple of years, with, for instance, East of Eden and here, what's like the biggest, would you say is like the biggest success that you guys have had for your family and for this company?
I'd say when we started canning our beer in kind of mid 2016,
Okay.
like breweries were just kind of starting to package beer into cans,
Yeah.
and we were lucky to be one of the early breweries to brew really hoppy, progressive kind of West Coast hoppy beer
Okay.
in cans then, and it just kind of opened a whole new world for us. We started just getting really creative with our label design and just exploring all these new formats. And we used to brew a lot of the same beer pretty often.
Okay.
But once we started canning beer, it was like, boom, let's just experiment and do tons of different beers. And so to date, we've probably done over 500 unique beers
Wow.
in the span of the last 6 years, just to keep kind of progressing and pushing the craft, pushing the art and the science. There's so many cool new hop varieties that we get to experiment with.
Sure.
Really, we're just a bunch of nerds, and we get paid to do what we love.
Yes.
And I think we're just pretty blessed to be able to do that.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about your Carmel spot, or like how that came on, or what was the thought behind that, and then where you're at now.
Well, for years we wanted to get like an Alvarado Street tasting room in Carmel.
Okay.
Kind of, faced a little bit of an uphill battle with, some red tape there with Alvarado Street coming to Carmel.
Any business you run into those fun things like
that?
Yeah. Sure.
So we decided to sort of come into it from a different angle, which was with kind of like a side brand called East of Eden. It was a sour beer project that we were making out here in Salinas.
Okay.
And, it had its own branding. We basically treated it like its own company, and making these really niche, really interesting kind of barrel-aged sour beers with like a terroir element to it.
Okay.
So it's more akin to like a wine drinker, sort of. So that opened in December of 2018, and it was wonderful to be able to open a small brewery in Carmel. I think it's the first and only operating brewery in Carmel by the Sea. So that was really fun.
Wow.
And and since, well, I guess we can get into after COVID.
Yes.
We actually thought, in this time when we were sort of down, since it's such a small brewery in Carmel, a lot of the beers that we had made under the East of Eden brand were actually made out here in Salinas.
Okay.
Like behind that door, there's just like hundreds of barrels.
Okay.
So a lot of our resources were really out here.
Okay.
So we thought it might be better to kind of refocus our efforts to make the East of Eden beers, which have definitely their own following and are really awesome and have, really been wonderful as a company to be able to have these beers. We thought it'd be better to refocus those efforts out here and use the small facility in Carmel to brew the beers that kind of cater to a wider audience, like a lot of the IPAs and stuff that Alvarado Street's known for.
Okay.
So a rebrand was sort of something we thought would be a good thing to do during COVID-19 while we were down for 3 months. And so we reopened as Alvarado Street Brewery and Bistro. Bistro.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, you touched on it, this pandemic and what's happening, and we still are kind of in the unknown, but I think it's safe to say we have all the white light at the end of the tunnel, and we're starting to get out of some things and starting to reopen.
Still kind of scary.
Yes.
But,
so talk to me about that. How have you been? How's the
Sure.
been?
Yeah. So we were really grateful to have such a strong staff over in Carmel, really strong management staff. So we're able to bring back our management first, and our executive chef and some of his crew. And I said, hey guys, we're going to actually reopen us Alvarado Street Brewery and Bistro. What do you think about that? And pretty much got a very emphatic, yes from a lot of people. Like this is great. Like this will kind of broaden our appeal to get more locals in the door, get more tourists who maybe aren't into sour beer necessarily to come in through our door.
So you were focusing really on your target market, what was out there.
Yeah. I mean, throughout the years, we had plenty of tourist business on the weekends and stuff, but it was a challenge to get people in the door during the weekdays.
Sure.
And that's where the locals come in, and we're locals, and we just want to be a community gathering place. We want to serve the community with what people want. So we sort of reinvented ourselves a little bit in terms of the beers that we offer, and the food is fantastic. We didn't change too much on the food. We made maybe some more approachable decisions. More kind of like elevated, burgers, sandwiches,
absolutely,
that kind of stuff. But also, focused on local ingredients and really a menu that reflects, the Central Coast and sort of, in general.
And how long have you been open?
It's been like 2 weeks.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, but it's been great. It's gone really well. I think a lot of people are just really excited to get back into the swing of things and go out.
Absolutely.
Luckily, we have like a lot of outdoor seating, which is really nice.
Yes.
So I think that's been really helpful.
Good. Yeah, it's definitely a nice breath of fresh air to have someone like you guys in the community.
Thank you.
As much as we love all of our art galleries and wine tasting rooms and of course our beautiful restaurants, it's fun to actually bring something new to the community too, and expand ourselves and expand and push the envelope a little bit more.
Absolutely.
So kudos to you guys.
Thank you.
So I guess kind of in wrapping this kind of vision up and how you guys have been innovative and pivoting during all this time, what does Carmel Rising mean to you guys or to you personally?
Sure. I mean, I think the goal hasn't changed regardless of whether we're in COVID or not. The goal is to serve the community and be that community gathering place, a place where people from all walks of life can come together and just talk over a beer. Beer is like the common thread that binds us all together, and really serving the community is something that has been ingrained in Alvarado Street as a company's sort of nature since day one. And Carmel Rising, it's we're all in this together, all the businesses together, all the locals. Having tourists come in is great, and it's very needed for our economy. But at the same time, we got to take care of each other too. And that really comes down to staff. And unfortunately, we weren't able to bring everybody back. We brought back a good amount of people, but that was probably the hardest thing about the whole deal. But hopefully once we're in later stages of reopening, we can offer jobs back to the people we couldn't bring back in this phase.
Absolutely. Well, kudos to you guys. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Right on.